Hello, Bama fans. Zion Gibson is a hot prospect for Bama recruiting. Does this player's story mark an epic turnaround for Bama? I want to see you subscribe to the channel before the news hits. This young four-star defensive back from Gadsden City was part of the thrilling Alabama-Georgia showdown at Bryant-Denny Stadium, and the experience clearly left a lasting impression. Describing the visit as epic and a turning point, Gibson was impressed with what he saw and experienced, giving strong indications that Alabama is positioning itself as one of the favorites in his recruiting journey. The atmosphere at a game at Bryant-Denny, especially a big game like Alabama versus Georgia, is unmatched. For recruits like Gibson, experiencing the vibrant energy of the crowd and tactical excellence on the field can change the entire perception of a program. It's not just the performance on the field that influences these decisions, but also the environment off the field, and Gibson got to experience both firsthand. The defensive back revealed that after the game, he spent time with Alabama defensive legend Dre Kirkpatrick and other players, which further cemented his fascination with the program. That personal connection with former players and current roster members seems to have been the difference for Gibson. He got to see firsthand what Alabama offers away from the spotlight, and that combined with the team's defensive performance seemed to be the turning point. Alabama's defense put on a remarkable performance against the Bulldogs' potent offense, culminating in a game-winning interception. Additionally, the presence of freshmen on the defensive line, something Gibson was enthusiastic about, shows that Alabama isn't afraid to give young, emerging talent a chance, something that certainly appeals to a high-caliber recruit like him. With an impressive performance in the 100-meter dash, recording a time of 10.85 seconds, Zion Gibson is not only a player with great physical potential, but also an excellent reader of the game. His quick reaction and closing speed are qualities that any coach would love to develop, and in the defensive system led by Kalen DeBoer, he could flourish in spectacular fashion. His versatility also stands out, as he can play as a returner on special teams, something he has already demonstrated mastery of. It is no wonder that programs like Auburn and Oregon are eyeing him. But after this epic visit to Alabama, it is clear that the Crimson Tide has taken a big step forward in the competition. If Gibson was already impressed with the level of play and structure of the program, this latest experience seems to have cemented Alabama as a very attractive choice. Under Kalen DeBoer, the program is undergoing a renewal with new energy, and recruits like Gibson see this opportunity for growth and prominence as a huge draw. It remains to be seen how Gibson's recruitment process plays out in the coming months, but one thing is for sure: his last visit to Alabama was a game changer. If the Crimson Tide can secure Zion Gibson's signature, they will be adding not only an impressive physical talent, but also a player with the right mindset to thrive and make an impact at one of the most competitive programs in college football. Gibson's saga is far from over, but the signs are promising for Alabama, which could be getting closer to securing one of the top defensive backs in the 2026 class. Let's get moving. Alabama's defense under Kane Womack has been a highly anticipated one, and so far it has proven to be something different than what Crimson Tide fans are used to. Tenacity, violence, and a relentless approach have become the hallmarks of this defensive system that seeks to not only stop opponents from advancing, but also to force mistakes and create turnover opportunities. It's no wonder safety Kean Sabb describes the defense as a piranha frenzy, a metaphor that captures the aggressive spirit and team mentality that Womack has implemented. That swarm mentality is exactly what Kalen DeBoer wanted when he brought Womack to Tuscaloosa. Having worked together at Indiana, DeBoer had seen firsthand what Womack could do defensively, and now, as Alabama's head coach, he knew that approach would be essential to redefining the team's defense. Womack's philosophy is all about defensive disguises, which was key to the recent win over Georgia. By keeping quarterback Carson Beck uncomfortable and out of rhythm, Alabama's defense forced mistakes that proved crucial in the game, including several interceptions. This reactionary style of defense is a departure from the man-to-man coverage approach that became synonymous with Alabama during the Nick Saban years. Womack's defense now uses a zone coverage scheme that emphasizes reading plays and reacting quickly. For Crimson Tide players like linebacker Deontay Lawson, this defense provides unique opportunities to make big plays. With eyes on the quarterback and freedom of movement, the defense becomes more dynamic, something that is reflected in the turnover and tackles for loss numbers. The origins of this swarm defense aren't new, but they're deeply rooted in Womack's roots, with his father, Dave Womack, having run a similar version at Ole Miss in 2014. Inspired by defenders like Monty Kiffin and the Seattle Seahawks' famed Legion of Boom, Ken Womack has adapted these principles to the college scene. The result? A defense that not only stops opponents from moving forward, but also frustrates them, forcing game-changing mistakes. From his days at Indiana, where Womack led defenses that excelled in interceptions, to his more recent work at Alabama, the trend is clear. This is a defense built to create turnovers. Crimson Tide players are embracing this mentality. For rookie cornerback Xavier Brown, the philosophy of swarming the ball is something that defines the new era of Alabama defense. It's not just about following the rules or following the playbook. It's about playing with intensity, freedom, and intelligence, always looking for the next opportunity to steal the ball. For Womack, that's the core of his philosophy, a defense that fools quarterbacks, that consistently pressures, and that plays with its eyes on what really matters, the ball. And that's what Coach Kalen DeBoer is most proud of. He wanted a defense that could make a difference, one that was unpredictable and relentless. Since taking over at Alabama, DeBoer has made it clear that the program's defensive standard would not only be maintained, but raised to a new level with Womack at the helm. The impact is already visible, with the Crimson Tide racking up impressive numbers in turnovers and tackles for loss, redefining what it means to be an elite defense in college football. The players understand the weight of this new standard. For them, there is no room for anything less than excellence, and when they fall short of that level, as Malachi Moore pointed out, there is a sense of frustration. The pursuit of perfection is constant, and the expectation is that under Womack, this defense will continue to grow and evolve, solidifying itself as one of the most feared in the country. The journey is still early, but if there's one thing for sure, it's that Alabama, with its new defensive approach, is building something special. Being tenacious, violent, and relentless is more than just a description. It's the mantra of a defense that promises to leave a lasting mark on college football. Let's get going. Nate Oats has been a central name in discussions about the future of college basketball and, more recently, potential moves to the NBA. However, the Alabama Crimson Tide head coach has been vocal in reaffirming his commitment to the Alabama basketball program, dispelling any speculation of an imminent departure to the professional leagues. With John Calipari's departure from Kentucky, many began to speculate about a move to the NBA, something Oats was quick to dismiss. In a recent interview with CBS Sports' John Rothstein, he made it clear that while he admires and studies professional basketball, his loyalty remains with Alabama, where he has established himself as a force in college basketball. Oats signed a contract extension this spring that not only cemented his commitment to the program, but also reaffirmed the university's confidence in his work. The extension brought his compensation to an impressive $18 million, making him one of the highest-paid coaches in the country. This move by athletic director Greg Byrne demonstrates Alabama's determination to retain Oats for the long haul, offering him compensation that few college coaches receive. With $5 million guaranteed through the 2024-25 season and escalating pay increases through the 2029-30 season, it's clear the Crimson Tide understands the value of retaining a coach like Oats, who has transformed the program into a national powerhouse in such a short amount of time. Oats himself has mentioned how the college coaching lifestyle aligns better with his family priorities. With 3 daughters, he said the pace of the NBA may not be ideal for his family life at this point. However, he hasn't ruled out the possibility of making that transition at some point, admitting the NBA intrigues him. Still, his focus on Alabama remains clear. He's been vocal about his love for Tuscaloosa and the Crimson Tide, making it clear that their growth and the evolution of the program remain his top priorities. Oats' approach to running the Alabama basketball program, always looking to stay ahead of the curve, has made him one of the most innovative coaches in the country. He and his staff study the NBA, absorb ideas from there, and adapt them to college basketball. Alabama's commitment to a modern style of play with clear NBA influences is a big draw for recruits and the program's growth. While the NBA is a future goal for Oats, the Crimson Tide is where he is building his legacy. For Alabama fans, the news that Nate Oats is fully focused on continuing to build an elite college basketball program is a huge relief. In a time when the NBA often steals the best talent from college basketball, Oats' commitment to Alabama is a sign that the Crimson Tide will continue to compete at the highest level. And with Oats at the helm, it's clear that the program has much more to accomplish. Keep moving forward. Alabama basketball coach Nate Oats is facing another season of unexpected challenges, but with the same determination that has made the Crimson Tide one of the most respected teams in college basketball. One of the big questions that has arisen recently is the absence of transfer Chris Youngblood, one of the most talented players on the roster. According to Oats, Youngblood will not be available in November due to an ankle injury, but the point guard is expected to return in December. This news, while challenging, still brings some relief to Alabama fans, who are eagerly awaiting Youngblood's contribution, especially after his stellar performance at South Florida, where he was AC Co-Player of the Year. Youngblood is a name that comes with great expectations. During his time at Kennesaw State in South Florida, he has demonstrated consistency in scoring averages in double figures each season. This puts the point guard in a prominent position, as his arrival was seen as one of the most important moves on Alabama's roster this season. Despite the injury, Oats maintained a firm and confident stance, reiterating that Youngblood's presence, albeit late, will be crucial to the team's NCAA tournament ambitions. The 2024 season promises great challenges and even greater expectations for Alabama, especially after last year's historic run, when the Crimson Tide reached its first Final Four. Under Oats, who is already in his 6th season in Tuscaloosa, Alabama has established itself as a powerhouse in college basketball. Oats' success is no accident. In 5 seasons, he has led the program to 3 Sweet 16 appearances, in addition to last year's impressive tournament run, when the team reached the championship game, losing to eventual champion UConn. Despite a number of injuries to the roster, including promising freshman Darian Reed and Nas Cunningham, Oats has shown resilience and adaptability in adverse situations, traits that have made him one of the most respected coaches in college basketball. The doubts surrounding his potential interest in an NBA role were quickly silenced, and Oats reaffirmed his commitment to Alabama. In recent interviews, he has mentioned how he values balancing his coaching career with his family life, something he says would be harder to maintain in the fast-paced NBA. With new SEC members like Texas and Oklahoma joining the fold, and coaching changes at iconic programs like Kentucky and Arkansas, the 2024 season in the conference will undoubtedly be one of the most competitive in recent memory. The Crimson Tide, despite these early setbacks, have all the tools to be a top contender for the SEC title. Nate Oats is once again in a position to make his mark, and the fans' confidence in his work remains unwavering. Alabama kicks off its regular season on November 4th against UNC Asheville. And while all eyes are on Youngblood's return and the recovery of other key players, Oats and his staff are ready to take on another journey full of challenges and great opportunities. Oats' commitment to the team, combined with his ability to innovate and lead, will be key to keeping the Crimson Tide among the giants of college basketball. What do you think about all of this? Comment below.